Hi everyone, how are you doing? Today is 28th of May 2026. The time is around 6:43. We're at Central European summertime currently, and we're looking at the EURUSD chart, 1 minute. Okay, so today was a bit of a wild start, you could say. We started with a big drop coming in. Now the question is, okay, what is going to happen today and what are we going to do? I drew in an arrow because I already took a small position today. All right, let's just start at the beginning. So the day started right here. I guess it's important to know what is what. So the green lines are basically the motion that is expected for the day. So that is, you could say, the natural motion for the day, especially this top line, and the lines below it are basically multiples of that. So this is the ×2 with regards to steepness, you could say, and this is and this is the ×3 steepness. What we do, we basically mark our range for the day, and our base range for the day would be this upper line right here and this bottom line right here, and this is the center line. So this is kind of the range you would expect for the day. So, and what's really interesting is that price is immediately moving south of that. Yeah, so there's a lot of speed right there, and then breaking through this floor. All right, so this kind of takes us to, the next area or the next zone, which is this one right here. Like I said, usually you could expect your price range to be within this range. All right, so I want to bring your attention to the circles that I drew in. These circles are not just randomly placed on the chart. They're very well calculated. And as you can see, price action always kind of respects these shapes, as you can see here. So you get a bit of support and then swinging around it and then trying to push and break that barrier, but it can't quite make it. This circle isn't exact, as you can see, but price action is kind of traversing along this circle's wall, right? And you kind of see the same thing happening here. So there's this big drop, and there's like nothing there, so just free falling. And then there's this, dip right below this circle, and then this retracement kind of testing the circle again. So, but this is not a coincidence, right? These things don't just happen randomly. Yeah, this stuff happens because it needs to happen. And the same thing happens here. So I drew in another circle. Again, these circles are not just coincidental, are just random circles. These circles actually have a very strict meaning, right? Okay, so again here you could see price drop, and then again holding on the circle, kind of crawling up right there, dropping below, and now it's kind of retracing. All right, so we actually took a position here because we definitely believe that price will drop further. This drop, however, isn't sustainable for the rest of the day. I think so. I don't think it's going to drop forever. I also don't think that this was the end of the move. So I think it's going to move further. It's now kind of looking for a wall to bounce up against. I was thinking maybe it could do this line, maybe this horizontal or this horizontal line. But I took a position anyway. It's a small position because I think that price will definitely move further down. And I think that this green line or this yellow line right here, or a combination of both, will probably hold price at that level. Let's see. It could also move to the bottom of our circle. We'll just kind of have to see what happens then. Since I think we're gonna have some news event in the afternoon, though I'm not sure. I think that price will at least drop to this line and then kind of walk this line up, and maybe we're going to see another break to the downside, but I'm not entirely sure. You could say the overall direction for the day is a bearish movement. But this is, this could be a bit confusing because we're expecting bearish movement, but since we already made such a big drop, I think it's going to be retracement time also. And maybe time is going to look to maybe bounce, to these levels. I mean, this red line right here is a big, interesting support resistance level. So we're maybe going to see another price drop and then a very long retracement, maybe even towards touching this line before it could break down further, or it will just stay within this range or look for the bottom of this range. I think that's the outlook for the day as I see it now. I'll keep you posted, and during the day I'll make another. I'll have another short look at the market. All right, guys, welcome back. So, the market progressed, and actually not in the way that I had expected. I told you guys this morning that I had actually expected the market to touch this line and then to, revert or, pull back to this line right here. Well, actually what happened was it tested this circle rim and immediately reversed and it moved back into its base tracks. Okay, so in the day, usually, I only put this line on this morning. Usually in the day you can put on these lines, and these are kind of like the base tracks that price action will move into. And it's something that you will probably see in the next videos too. I wanna, before I continue there, I want to kind of bring your attention to the lines that we put in the chart and the geometrical shapes. So first off, this circle, like, this free fall hitting the circle rim, and then a price action moving up. You see a response on this line too, like a small, flick around this line, then moving up. Then, a small flick around this one and kind of testing the waters here, then moving around, and you can see like this nice walk up this line, price action moving further up, again responding to this line, and here you can see a kind of a conflicting state, and this is because these two lines, so from the south and from the west, from the east, I must say, from the east and the west, they kind of meet at this point. So, and this is where you see prices getting jittery. Yeah, so it's pulling back, it's kind of walking this line, it's kind of testing this one, testing this, walking here, and then going up. And as soon as it comes into this zone, you see that price is willing to turn. It's actually already at this point. We took a position here, it went a bit further. And here you can see, price walking down, walking up this line, going down to this zone right here, stopping, like, dead in its tracks on this line, pulling up, testing. And I think this is just kind of like testing the support here. I think it will break through. That's my assessment at this point. I think it will break through, and since price action was testing these levels this morning, I think price action will actually return to these levels, basically wanting to touch this line right here. That's my assessment at this moment. So, and it will, either stick to its track, maybe surpass the track a bit, maybe touch it earlier, but I think this around here will be our target. We'll see if I'm right. Again, so on this channel, you'll find geometrical shapes, like a geometrical framework around price action. We don't have this perfectly, set up if-else system, telling you when to take positions, in what direction. We do have some hints that tell us, okay, when to get out, when to get in, but you have to still, as a trader, read this information and use it to your advantage. And as you can see, for us, it's also still in a bit of an early phase. So we also still have to, read the information and take the proper decisions, which, as you can see, isn't always that easy. And I mean, we've been working on this a very, very long time. The long-term goal, of course, is for us to actually have some mathematical methods that can detect these kinds of reversals, or these kinds of changes in direction. But yeah, that's, I guess, on the road ahead. For now, we have to just build the geometrical constructs, read from them, and take decisions based off of them. But like I said, this is an exceptional day. I'll get back later and we'll see how the market progressed then. All right, guys, great to have you back. So let's look at the markets. Okay, so the fourth position that I took also got burned, as you can see. And I actually didn't draw in this one circle, well, around noon, you could say, like start of the afternoon. If I had done that, then I could have actually seen this price movement and also basically this breakout from the circle, and I could have probably made a better, more informed decision if I had done this. This day separator is kind of, you could say it's an end of business mark. Sometimes you will get some retracement action or some corrective action, but in this case, I don't think it's really worth mentioning. Remember how I told you guys that these lines, so these horizontal lines, there's also the one right here and the one right here, they actually mark the usual, you could say, like the usual business range, like this one. Okay, now notice how end of business actually ended here. And this is usually the case. So usually you will get like one of these lines to hit. And this is basically where we usually take our exit. Okay, so I think we completely misread the market in the morning, which, it isn't a bad thing. I mean, we're all learning here. So if I had drawn this circle in around noon, like I said, my last decision would have been more informed than it was now. Maybe, I could have taken this sell position, I guess, but I should have taken profit here and gotten in with, with a long position. But hey, like I said, we're all learning here. I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing that our positions went bust today. It was a rare day. This is also, our first daily chart analysis recording, and I think, I thought it was going to be bad. I didn't think it was going to be this bad. But it was pretty awful, the trading decisions that we took. But I guess it's again a good learning moment, and I want to again draw your attention to kind of the daily channel, right? So I told you about this channel, and in the morning we kind of focused our minds and kind of stared at the fact, kind of locked in the fact, saying, well, the market is going to go down. And this is usually where I make mistakes when I trade. So, I fix my mind saying, well, the market will go down. But then I always tell myself, well, I should always make the case for the market going in a different direction. And it's something that actually happened here. So in the morning, the big move was actually just to position price for, like the regular channel that price was going to pass through. And you can say that, you can see that right here. Maybe I can draw in some shape so you can clearly see that. So basically it wants to, use this channel to travel through. You can see it like it's, it's kind of breaking below it, but then as soon as it goes in, it kind of respects this channel all the way to here. And this is kind of the decisive moment where, it tries to break out of the channel, and it actually does. And this is like a 2x steepness of what you normally would expect. And if we zoom in a bit, then you can see, right? every line, again, every line is very well and very much respected, same as here. So you see price action going up, and then on this line, again, it's holding, it's kind of consolidating. Then it hits our target right here of the daily range as we calculated at the beginning of the day. And now the market is kind of correcting. So it could, it might as well respect this line a little bit more, kind of, traverse along this line up and get a few more points. But, that's really not interesting business. I think the interesting business today would have been if we would have just recognized or, at least made the case to say, well, this is the base upward channel, and maybe price is just positioning itself to move inside this channel and to also respond accordingly. Like we could have around noon. So basically at the time where this circle is perfectly respected. I mean, this is just, for me, this is just art. Like this is just art. Where the circle rim is perfectly respected. This could have been the situation where my mind should have gone like click, and I should have said, okay, so this is just consolidation, and after this, we're just going to go up. It doesn't always happen, but it usually happens, and this is something that I should have definitely done, and that would have probably helped us a lot, basically recovering from these losses. Today will just be a losing day, but it's kind of what I expected since this is my first recording, and from here it can only get better. So in conclusion, I would just like to say, thanks for watching, for one, and our purpose is really to demonstrate that we have reached a point where we can, put geometry around price action, and this is something. Even when you are not directly successful trading, this is something that you have to understand. Like if you can place price action inside the proper framework, and you can practice inside this framework, then you can at some point read the information in such a way that you can make better decisions, for one. Second, of course, you can kind of use the geometrical framework as an input for training an AI. In our introductory video, we actually talked about using AI or training AI, and the deficit or the problem with AI is that it doesn't value your data. So whenever you train an AI, it actually needs you to also input context, right? And this geometry, like this geometrical framework that we have around price action, should actually, function well when training an AI. I don't know. I don't have the experience. But right now I'm trying to do like the manual labor. So I'm trying to read the information from the geometry and try to make, trading decisions based off of that. And as you can see, I'm failing, not just one time, I'm failing many times. And I feel I have to in order to better learn. And hopefully in the future we can put more, mathematics in place, or even some, some trained algorithms that can help us make better trading decisions. All right. So again, thanks for watching. Thanks for joining. If you like this type of content, just leave a comment or like, subscribe, whatever you like, and we'll see each other in the next one. Bye.